There's nothing more infuriating than bad design, but some of these really take the cake. From hilariously bad bathrooms, ATMs, and food, to straight up evil anti-homeless architecture. Here are some designers who should go to hell for their designs. First, we have to look at this train. As you can see, it passes straight through an apartment building. This crime design against humanity can be found in Chongqing, China. Designers planned the route of this train, but didn't realize there was a building in the way. So instead of altering their design, they simply made the train go right through the building, wiping out one story of the building to make it a tunnel. Unsurprisingly, this made life hell for anyone living in the building. Whenever the train goes by, their entire apartment shakes. And it's also insanely loud. The train line is very busy and passes through at all hours. They've now added a train stop inside the building, meaning that the building is both an apartment block and a train station. Residents of the building were furious. The loud noises from the trains meant the value of their apartments plummeted. But at least now with a train so nearby, they'll never be late for work. Next, we have to look at this evil, hostile architecture. Some cities have started installing these benches with coin slots. The benches have spikes on them, and those spikes only go down when you insert a coin. This is actually to stop homeless people sleeping on the benches, but many are outraged by this and say it's pure evil. Many cities also put these spikes on the ground where homeless people may sleep, and in China they use sharp stones and rocks under bridges, once again to stop any rough sleepers from taking a nap. But if you think that's bad, check out these benches. They can be found in Philadelphia's subway system. They're designed to make it impossible for homeless people to sleep on them. But in doing so, the designers made these benches way too uncomfortable for anyone to sit on. If you try to take a seat, you basically slide off. Now they just sit there unused. Similar benches can be found in the subway systems of New York. Anyone who's elderly, disabled, ill, or homeless won't be able to sit down. In Russia, these benches fold and lock. They're unlocked in the daytime for people to sit down on, but at night they're locked up, stopping any homeless people from sleeping on them. Many say these designs are seriously cruel, but do you think these anti-homeless designs are immoral or not? Now we have to look at this insanely bad bathroom. This toilet was installed in the dumbest way possible. Instead of the toilet being against a wall, it's on a corner, meaning that holes in the wall had to be cut for the cistern to fit in. All of the water and moisture in these holes will result in a massive amount of mold, meaning that this entire bathroom will soon be seriously dangerous. But some would say this toilet is even worse. In 2017, the Salute Vidūnas Gymnasium in Lithuania got new bathrooms. But when they released photos of their new bathrooms, people weren't exactly impressed. There is zero privacy in these toilets. Each of the toilets face a urinal, and there's not even partitions in between the toilets. Also, I can't see any toilet paper anywhere in this bathroom. But at least they don't have this piece of terrible design in the bathroom. This cheese grater toilet paper design is the stuff of nightmares. But at least the toilet paper isn't attached to the toilet like with this design. This British invention is named the bog standard toilet seat. It has a toilet paper holder built in. Pretty weird having toilet paper between your legs. Not to mention it looks pretty weird when the toilet seat is up. I can just imagine the paper flowing into the toilet bowl below. Moving on, we have to look at this insanely bad design. Whiskey cradles may seem like a cool idea, but this one is just pure stupid. For one, the glass needs to be far away from the cradle if you don't have much whiskey in the bottle. And to make matters worse, the swinging motion is liable to knock your glass off the table, resulting in what many have called a Jack Daniels disaster. It seems like many people have had the misfortune of using one of these awfully designed products. Now we have to look at this abysmal ATM. This ATM was built way too high to use. Surprisingly, this error is quite common. If the measuring is done wrong when a bank is built, this can occur. This often happens when the bank is built on a sloped road, meaning that the ATMs are only useful for giants. Some of these ATMs make withdrawing money a two-man job, but it seems like the problem can go both ways. Take a look at this New York ATM, which is built too low. You literally have to sit down to use it. The same is true for this ATM outside the supermarket in Nottingham, UK. Because it's built on a hill, this ATM is only 15 inches off the ground. But I think the worst ATM fail can be found at this Russian bank. I'm not sure if the pole or the ATM came first, but either way, the placement is idiotic. They could have put the ATM just a few feet to the left and it would have been a good place. But instead, they make their customers suffer, just when you thought banks couldn't get any more evil. Now let's look at this pitiful playground. I think whoever built this slide must hate children. There's no way you wouldn't get seriously hurt from sliding down. It's basically a 90-degree drop. This slide seems even worse. Maybe one very heavy kid bent the slide into this 90-degree angle. But I think the worst slide has to be this one. There's no way this should be allowed in a kid's playground. Although the designer may not have realized, it does not look kid-friendly. But some say the most devious playground design is this. It's called the Cheese Grater Slide. I just hope whatever maniac invented this has been locked up for good. At that point, they're just a menace to society. Now we have to look at this skyscraper that melts cars. This is 20 Fenchurch Street in London. It's better known by its nickname, the Walkie-Talkie Building, or as I like to call it, the $300 million design fail. In 2014, this building turned into a death ray. It was built at an angle that reflected sunlight onto the street below. Much like a magnifying glass, this caused a massive ray of heat, leading to cars and the road melting. One reporter even fried an egg using the building's rays. Designers then installed an awning to stop the building melting cars, but by that time it was just too late. The damage had been done and the building was a laughingstock. Now we have to look at this case of food fraud. This poppy seed pie from Ukraine looks delicious on the packaging, but open it up and you will be severely disappointed. The packaging makes it seem like you get tons of filling, but inside there's less than a teaspoonful. Talk about selling dreams. But at least some packaging is clear, meaning you can see what you're actually getting. Or so you thought. Just take a look at this meatball pizza. Through the transparent panel on the box, you can see there's lots of meatballs on the pizza. But take the pizza out and you'll see there's meatballs nowhere else on the pizza. The meatballs have been very tactically placed, but in my opinion, that's false advertising. If you think that's bad, then take a look at these jam cookies. Instead of a decent amount of strawberry jam, you get a pipette's full. But I think one of the biggest food scams has to be this sandwich from Japan. In the box, the sandwich looks pretty nice and full, but as you can see, they only filled the front of the sandwich. The rest is just bread. I guess companies and designers will do anything to increase their profit margin just a tiny bit. Moving on, let's look at this bad bike lane. This very dangerous bike lane can be found in Holland. If you're not a good cyclist, then you'll be taking a swim in the canal. Another scary bike lane can be found on this bridge. You'd better hope you're stable when riding a bike, otherwise it may well be the last ride of your life. But I think the most evil bike lane might be this one. As you can see, the road is nice and smooth, but for some reason cyclists have to ride up a million bumps, leaving even the most pro cyclist with a sore behind. Finally, on the subject of cycling, let's take a look at these bizarre cycling uniforms. In 2014, the female Colombian cycling team unveiled their new uniforms, but people were quick to point out the bad design. The uniforms appeared to be skin-colored, making the cyclists look very inappropriate. It was supposed to be gold, but designers didn't really think this one through. Many online comments said the uniforms were totally inappropriate, and the president of the International Cycling Union even said the uniforms were unacceptable. But the Colombian cycling team stood by their uniform, saying that they were comfortable despite the clumsy design. Comment below which of these designs was the worst. If you want to see my short videos, then check out my second channel. I've been Charlie, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.